Talking Reds, Thursday the 19th of December. I am Andy Heaton. This is Gareth Roberts. Half a Knobhead Tuesday, half a boss. What did you normally do? Anyway, let's go with it. Woke up in Qatar in glorious sunshine, a little bit cloudy now, to the news that Liverpool have secured the signing of Takumi Minamino from RB Salzburg for £7.5 million. Seems like a hell of a steal.
Yeah, seems like a cracking deal, to be honest with you. You know, Liverpool, it just seems they're in the business of making us all happy right now. So last night, 91st minute, injury time, winner from Roberto Firmino. We go to bed knowing that and happy because of that. We wake up in the morning and there's pictures of Minamino wearing a Liverpool shirt and talking about it's a dream come true to play for Liverpool, and it does seem like an absolutely fantastic deal. £7.5 million in this market is a steal, and it's fair play to Liverpool as well for sort of finding out about this release clause in his contract, because other clubs were interested. I know United have now denied they were interested.
Didn't fancy it anyway, mate.
Yeah, it was one of them, wasn't it? I think they were linked with them, and they were linked with them for a reason, because there was something there. And of course, they now say they didn't want him anyway. But you look at him, you look at his records, you look at his stats, and he can play anywhere, sort of in front of the number 6, really. And that's a player that Jurgen Klopp will love. He talked about him being fearless on the ball, fearless off the ball. He's going to press, he's going to work hard. He can be cover for any of the attacking players, basically, which has been a problem for us, hasn't it? Because at times you've seen Firmino, Salah, and Mane all at different times in their Liverpool careers probably play too much football.
Yeah, I just think that we played such a high level, even like a 0.5% or 1% drop off is noticeable to the system. It just needs to be. I mean, what does he say? Linders fucking hell, intensity is our identity and all that stuff, and even like the slightest knock off from that, you can tell. So yeah, just an extra option to refresh the legs there. Reading the manager's comments this morning, I thought it was really interesting the depth in which they go into scouting now. They were talking about how RB Salzburg train, how they train like an elite team. So coming into Liverpool, that adjustment period shouldn't be as big as what maybe we've seen with other players where it took a couple of months. Fabinho, Keita, for example, even Wijnaldum, where it took a while to get up to speed.
I mean, he's already played at Anfield, hasn't he? He's already played at Anfield and scored a goal and impressed everyone, including the Liverpool players. And, you will have all seen the story now that apparently the players went to Klopp afterwards and sort of said, that's a player you should be looking at. We really like the look of what he was doing there. And they were like, well, turns out that actually we're signing them, boys, so don't you worry about that.
Funny you should say that, lads.
I mean, but even that, though, there's something in that, isn't there? That everyone's on the same page now about what a Liverpool player is, what the identity of a Liverpool player is, and, that's what it used to be like. We used to talk about, you used to watch other teams and you'd say, that's a Liverpool player, that. And then we lost our way and we were signing all kinds, and we were scattergunning, and we were signing second, third and fourth choices. And to be honest with you, a lot of players played for Liverpool who should never have played for Liverpool. And we're getting away from that now, and we're getting back to a place where the players who come to Liverpool now deserve to play for Liverpool. And the team behind the transfers really deserve our trust now, because their recent track record is absolutely brilliant, and there's no reason to think that this is going to be any different, because as you say, the work that goes into it now to find a player, to scout a player, to look into his background, his personality, what he does, it is absolutely brilliant and seemingly second to none. Liverpool are absolutely smashing it in the transfer market, and I can't wait to see this lad, because I think he's going to arrive at Liverpool at the perfect time, just when there's going to be some tired legs, when we need a bit of impetus. And it'd be absolutely hilarious if, as expected, he makes his debut against Everton in the FA Cup. I mean, the script's already wrote. We saw what happened with Van Dijk, and you can imagine it being the same again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the attacking players that'll help, but we all know what the atmosphere is like. The new kids in school, give everyone a little bit of a lift. Yeah, seeing another kid coming through the door going, he's all right, he's all right. So yeah, an absolute another feather in the cap for Michael Edwards and co. And it was funny, you mentioned to me before, we were talking about it, I don't know what article that's been dug back up from when Brendan Rodgers had just departed from Liverpool, absolutely slaughtering Michael Edwards. And to be honest, reading back at it now, I don't know, hindsight's 2020. In this case, it's about 0-0.
Yeah, Neil Ashton it was in the Daily Mail then. He now works for The Sun. Draw your own conclusions on the type of journalist he is, but it does make funny reading these days, because it's slaughtering Edwards, it's slaughtering what he does, it's slaughtering the £29 million fee for Firmino, and saying what they've never justified why they thought it was worth paying that. Well, I mean, what's come since proves that. It slaughters Divock Origi, that's the man who scored in the European Cup final. It says they were wrong to sack another scout, who was someone who scouted Jordan Ibe. I mean, you know, like I say, the list goes on, and when you read it now, it does. I mean, it read like a hatchet job at the time. It reads like an even worse hatchet job now, and sort of what's come since has proved that Edwards was right, Ashton was wrong, and we, like I say, we've got someone on our hands who knows what he's doing. And I think the difference was that, you know, Jurgen Klopp has embraced what's at Liverpool. He's used everything at his disposal. He's made it feel like a team on the pitch and off it. Whereas Brendan Rodgers, for all the good that he did at Liverpool, and there was some good there, I think he got too political in the end, and he wanted to sort of sell his own case too much in public. And part of that, it seems, was throwing Edwards under the bus. You know, and look, Brendan's gone on and done all right, and he's done well at Celtic. Now he's at Leicester, and Leicester are absolutely flying. And maybe, you know, 2019, Brendan Rodgers doesn't do that.
Well, I was going to say that. I think maybe he'd look back at him, because I've got no problem with Brendan. I think he's sound. I think he's a great manager. And I hope that he looks back on that now and chooses his friends in the press more carefully, I might say. Yeah,
no, I think you're right. I mean, but as I say, when you look at it now, it doesn't make for great reading. And what goes on behind the scenes now, from what we can gather, from the bits that we hear, from everything that we know, it seems absolutely spot on. And as I say, you know, Jurgen Klopp's got a new contract. Milner's got a new contract. We are through to the finals of the World Club Cup. We are top of the Premier League. You know, you can't be happy as a Liverpool fan right now. You really can't.
No. So as Gareth just said, we are out here for the Club World Cup in Qatar. We're having a really good time. We're doing loads of content. It's going to be boss. We done the post-match pink from Qatar straight after the game yesterday, and we done the post-match pint from back in Liverpool. Here's a little clip.
As fantastic as Alisson was at that end of the pitch, I think we equally have to give it up to Salah at the other end. I think that was a game where we were so reliant on his sharpness at a time when Shaqiri and Origi were lacking it, but also his strength. I mean, he was essentially playing as an Andy Carroll style number 9 with the defenders on his back from the wider position. And he was so crucial, not only in being able to create shots for himself, but for his teammates as well.
I think the story of the last 3 to 4 games for Liverpool, when you look back at this season, will be Salah's resurgence, Salah's reaching the absolute peak of his form, and you can see it. I mean, we'll heap praise on Alexander-Arnold and Firmino for the goal, but Salah's turn and then it's sort of wherewithal to realise that it's not quite on for him to make something really happen once he gets towards the byline in that key moment is sensational, and that's only one of a huge number of moments in the game where he is so sharp, so drifting in, playing a 9, sometimes a 10, sometimes a traditional winger, being so hard to pick up, and that's along, you know, with the other members of the front 3. I think we'd probably agree not really performing, not really offering a threat in the way that Mane, Firmino will, you know, when he's playing alongside them. I thought, you know, there's a kind of leadership that he shows in his bravery on the ball, and his courage, and his inventiveness, and the way he backs himself. It was a really, really good performance from a player who is playing somewhere close to his peak again now.
And we're back. Yeah, great post-match pint there. So we had the game last night. I mean, the day after the night before. What do you reckon? Is it still as ropey as what it looked at the time, or reading the manager's comments this morning, we're a little bit more considered about it?
Yeah, I mean, I still think there were moments there where Liverpool, you know, didn't have the control of the game that they would like. I still think, you know, they could have played at a higher tempo at times. I still think maybe the midfield didn't work quite how you want it, and it's never ideal to see Jordan Henderson at centre-half. I thought he did a decent job, but, you know, you're taking away from 2 positions, you know, the centre-half and the midfield, and I think the midfield looked better with Jordan Henderson in it. But all that said, I think, you know, watch the goals back this morning, and what you didn't really get a grasp of in the ground, which you do when you watch it back, is that it's an absolutely tremendous ball by Trent. You know, the vision to spot that. Bobby makes the run, puts it in, and it's an easy finish for him. But again, the vision from Trent is absolutely brilliant.
It's next level stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and the substitutes paid off, didn't they? And we got it won. And it's the resilience again from Liverpool. I think they keep finding ways to win games, no matter what they're faced with. And I think they'll be in better shape on Saturday. You know, maybe there was a little bit of jet lag. There certainly was for us. We were nearly falling asleep in the ground, and we hadn't done anything wrong, by the way. It was just, you know, the toil of the flight. And I know they've been here a little bit longer and they're looked after a little bit better than we are. But nevertheless, I think, time zones and, going on such a long journey does take it out a little bit. So hopefully they'll be in better shape. I think for Saturday, it'll probably be a different team. And if Virgil's in the team as well and Jordan's back in midfield, I think that's going to help a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from last night, I was slightly critical of Alisson Becker for their goal. And I read this, and I was reading reports this morning, basically praised them. And it kind of struck me is that maybe we've kind of got used to just how fucking brilliant he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely an argument for that. We're becoming spoilt. I mean, I see people all the time saying, like, I can't believe you're criticising anything about Liverpool, really. And we're not. I mean, I just think, if you're asked to go on a podcast or you're put in front of a camera or you're asked to write a piece, inevitably you will mention some things in a game that didn't go quite right. But, things don't go quite right in every single 90 minutes. There's never a perfect 90 minutes. And all you're doing is just literally discussing aspects of the game. And I think, the results, what comes out at the end, virtually, 9 times out of 10 with this current side, is a victory. And another victory in the last minute as well. I think it's the 3rd this season. It's the 6th this year. And that'll get in the heads of opposition, gets in our heads as well, because if we're down or we're drawing and the match is close, you're not flapping, you're going, it's going to come. And I think the players are saying the same thing as well. So, by the way, as well, something we didn't really mention on the post-match show, but was absolutely brilliant. How good was Klopp with their manager? Free little yellow card, and they both got booked and all that. And I love that. I love that. Like Everton's so professional, and we do our press.
I love it when the veneer cracks a little bit.
Exactly, mate. Because we're all daft about football, including the footballers, including the managers, and that was a little daft moment, which was lovely, to be honest.
No, fantastic. I thought any other standouts? Naby Keita for me thought he was bright.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic that Naby's in a bit of form. I mean, he scored 3 goals, hasn't he, in recent weeks, and I think that's all. Before that, he'd managed 3 goals in 44.
He looks more relaxed as well, doesn't he? He looks freer.
Yeah, and he links really well with Mo. They seem to be on such a good wavelength together. And I think that obviously bodes well, because Mo's the top scorer. Mo's the man who's finding the net more often than not. And if you've got another fella who can link up with him, can find him, can play 1-2s, it's fantastic. It's another way we can score goals. It's another way we can win matches. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from him.
Fantastic. So, as you mentioned, looking at Edson Saturday, Flamengo. Yeah. We've seen a couple of Flamengo fans now out south. Yeah. They're certainly up for it. And we've had a couple of renditions of their song, so we've heard.
Yeah, they've been singing about what they did to us in 1981. Of course, they beat us then in the Intercontinental Cup 3-0. Bob Paisley's side beaten 3-0. But I think it's a different time, isn't it? It's a different time, different manager, different squads, and also I think Liverpool are treating this a lot differently to what they were then. I think then it's a little bit of a glorified friendly. Stuff's come out over the years about them being on the piss on the plane over there and stuff like that, and obviously not ideal preparations. I think the other thing as well was Zico was playing for them then, wasn't he? And he did an interview in recent weeks where he said that Liverpool didn't know anything about us. They didn't know how we played, didn't know how we set up, but they knew everything about Liverpool because Liverpool were everywhere. You could watch Liverpool, you could read about Liverpool. This time, Flamengo might be a bit of an unknown to us. Obviously, we can see the stuff we can see on the surface. We can see that they've got the lads from Inter Milan on loan up front and things like that. They've got a decent centre-half. You can do your research. But Liverpool will know everything about them this time. They've got the video team. They've got the lads who are doing the analysis. Exactly. So, and I think Klopp said last night that they'll watch at least 3 games that they've played recently to get an idea of what they're about. It's interesting as well that they didn't play that well first half in their game as well, and so I do wonder again about sort of coming to the other side of the world and different time zones, and maybe the pitch as well, with it being we've had some rainy weather. No one's played that well, you know what I mean, up to this point. If everyone can get themselves in the right place for Saturday, it could be a cracker of a match, but one that you fancy Liverpool to win.
So, having had a full night's sleep, what are we making about Qatar and generally enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Everyone's been friendly so far. We've met loads of Reds from all over the world already. As Andy mentioned, there's obviously fans from all the other clubs over here too. And yeah, we've not been here that long, but the sense of it is that it's good. And Ash, who's not on camera, but he sat off to the side here, one of our cameramen, he loves a chat with anyone and everyone. And he basically interviewed a Sri Lankan Uber driver on the way to the hotel, and he loves living here. He loves everything about it. And look, I think maybe, you know, Qatar's obviously had lots and lots of bad press around the workers and around the treatment of it, and there's some really grim stories around that, particularly the stuff where people have died and then the death is not really investigated, reported as natural causes, and the family ends up with nothing. Stuff like that's absolutely grim, needs to be addressed. But equally, there are clearly some positive stories around here as well. There are clearly people who enjoy living here. They need to move on, I would suggest, as a country, in terms of workers' rights and in terms of things like that. There are some steps being taken in that direction, is what we're being told. The World Cup coming here, the Club World Cup coming here, it means there's a focus on the country. It means there's people talking about it. It means Liverpool Football Club, even the likes of us talking about it, puts a little bit of pressure on them to say, you need to box that off, you need to sort that out, you need to get on it. Hopefully that is the case, because it's not going to go away now. I mean, there's the Gary Neville thing, which I'd love to watch. I think that's out.
It was on last night.
Was it on last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you lot watching may well have seen it. I'm sure it was brilliant, because obviously Neville's good at what he does, despite him being a mank bastard. And
apparently it was really good.
Yeah, I imagine it was. And I know that other journalists who are over here, who've got, you know, bigger and better resources than we have, are out there trying to get the stories of some of the migrant workers and things like that to tell that story. The fact that that story then gets told, as I say, then in turn puts pressure on the authorities over here to change the rules, to look at how they're treating people. It's not exclusive to this country as well, as another thing I'd say. You know, there are other countries in this region treating the workers in a similar manner. I know that was the case when we went to Dubai and stuff like that. It's just not highlighted as much because it's not a thing, because it's not a World Cup stadium and stuff like that.
There's not a spotlight on it.
Exactly. So, you know, yeah. I think there's an extreme view of Qatar right now because of the focus of this football match and the football matches to come in the future. But as I say, hopefully it changes. We're obviously right behind the idea of it changing. If you haven't caught it already as well, it was out both as a video and a podcast. We discussed all this stuff in depth. So it was yourself, Neil Atkinson, and Jay McKenna. Been some good feedback on that. I think it was out there free as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, we put it out for free. I think Jay needs to go into investigative journalism. I've had tough interviews in my life, but
yeah, he's good, Jay.
God blimey.
Yeah.
Who's the fella, was it, who used to run around with the camera? Roger, whoever?
Oh, knocking on doors,
Knocking on doors.
Can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Cook.
Roger, yeah, the
Cook
Report. There you go.
One for the kids.
One for the kids. All right, sound. So that's it. Looking forward to Saturday now for a bit of internal promo. Gift subscriptions are available. Christmas presents, buy them. They're dead popular. You get 12 months. Get all your content. You can do 3 months or 6 months, but do the 12 because you know. Do they know it's Christmas? Let them know it's Christmas. Also, merch. It's the last day for merch orders for t-shirts from the Anfield Rap. Go ahead. Get a t-shirt in as well with your subscription.
Yeah, obviously Christmas post. You need to get involved basically now if you're in the UK. I think.
Does it feel like Christmas?
I know, not here, mate. The sun's out. There's people on the beach behind Anfield out there enjoying themselves. So, you know, we're going to have a bit of a look around today. We're going to go and do some more content.
Mick Clark and Ronan running around.
Are they?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Anfield app is a good option, obviously, as a last minute Crimbo gift. Gibbo or Craig or whoever's back at the office right now, Patrick, will write out a nice little card, put it in, send it out, and you can hand that over, and the person you give it to will get 3, 6 or 12 months access to the Anfield app. What a gift that is.
And then just to sign off.
All right, what a gift that is then.
Hiya, Patrick, how's it going, mate? For those not in Qatar, I'm on a night out to watch the final. Boss are screening the Club World Cup final at the Olympia. And also, it's child-friendly. They're up the middle balcony for the under-18s to give them the experience. We've done boss nights before, and they are a good laugh. And they are you believe the hype around them. You have a good time. There'll be live music, DJs, as at the family tier, ticket information, all that's on their Twitter. But honestly, you'll have a really good time.
Yeah, get involved. They're doing great stuff out here. They're doing great stuff at home. They've done great stuff in general in terms of nailing the fan culture and taking it elsewhere and just letting people enjoy themselves. I think that's the main thing about boss nights. You know, like-minded people in a room enjoying themselves. You've got the opportunity to take the kids as well, so check it out.
I was going to sign off then and finish up, but just be talking about Boston, the genesis of it, and we're talking about the Liverpool football. Serious point. Like where Liverpool are going in the direction of travel, what we've done ourselves and box night and all that, it does seem like a special time, and almost put into contrast the years where we were struggling a bit with Ix and Gillette and everything just seemed shit, to be quite honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just on the pitch, but we've seen to have lost any sense of identity and sense of self, where it feels like for the first time in a lot, and it's been going for 2 or 3 years now. It's an amazing time.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, one of the things I think people were worried about coming to this region, this area, Qatar, was that obviously, you know, you've got to respect their culture and what they do. Equally, they want to be sort of quite open and move in a certain direction and, you know, attract events such as this. And so you kind of wondered how it was going to work out. And we had a little bit of a taster of the fan park. Obviously, you know, a lot of the people involved in Boss helped to get people on the stage. And look, everyone was enjoying themselves. And I think that they've worked in conjunction with the club as well to make that happen, to make it good. And, you know, in the past, the club were closed off, the doors were up, the shields were down, whatever you want to say. They didn't really want to engage with fans like they do now. So there's been good work behind the scenes at the club. There's been good work by the people at Boss. And long may it continue, because what it's meaning, again, like I said at the very top, is that lots and lots of Liverpool fans are going around with big smiles on their faces, enjoying themselves, and that's what it's all about.
There you go. That's what it's all about. That's been Talking Reds. Thursday the 19th of December. I'm Andy Heaton. This is Gareth Roberts. I'm going to steal his line. Up the fucking Reds.